And we are back, or we will be shortly when all those beautiful windows open, to welcome the representative of Tesol, Greece, who is going to be introduced by Dr. Vicky Papachristou. The floor is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome back. Again, it is with great pleasure to present you our next speaker, Miss Panorea BALALI.
Yes, you can say both.
Okay, so a few things about Miss BALALI.
Okay.
Just give me 1 minute. Great. So Panorea BALALI is an experienced EFL instructor with an artistic background. She holds an MA in Applied Linguistics with Tesol. She's passionate about inclusive practices, multimodal literacies, and technology. She has held leadership roles at UK institutions and mentors pre-service instructors and teachers in general. So, Panorea, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be invited here. Can I take a moment and share my screen first? As a new board member of Tesol Greece, can I say a few things about, can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Tesol Greece, very, very briefly. It is a non-profit or professional organization of teachers of English as a foreign language organization committed to promoting the professional pride, development, and self-esteem of its members. It encourages cooperation among ELT professionals in both the private and public sectors. It provides a forum for members to share and exchange ideas and to socialize with colleagues from Greece and abroad. It organizes conventions, events, presentations, talks, workshops by its members and professionals of international repute. Publishers and authors have an opportunity to display and present their teaching materials. It informs not only experienced teachers, but also aspiring teachers of opportunities for professional advancement and training. Last but not least, it produces a high-quality quarterly journal to announce upcoming events and to inform members of issues relevant to the ELT field. With that said, I would like to return to my presentation. I will attempt to. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes, thank you.
So, the multimodal advantage in ELT, enhancing communication skills. I would like to take a moment at this point and invite all of you who are here to answer in the chat box or orally, if you like, what these questions. What was the last thing you read, studied, or learned, or wrote recently? And I'm talking like really recently, in the last 10 minutes, a day ago, some hours ago. What was the last thing, the last contact that you had with what and where you read it? Can we take a moment for some answers? Not impromptu, yes.
I can
Like
go
really.
first.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I was read was match the phrases in bold in the phrases with their meaning, blah, 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 in a course book. Last thing I studied on Friday for my lecture. Last thing I learned, I'm learning a lot about second language acquisition, relearning, unlearning, restudying. That was within the past 10 days. What I wrote recently, many emails, some of them to you.
Great, thank you so much. You don't have to answer all of them. These were supposed to be optional. One thing maybe that you read, maybe that you studied, but let me move on. The point was for me to just mention that we live in a multimodal world. And like Maria said, even organizations like Scholastic, like Gutenberg, inspired by the increasingly globalization of the era that we live in, have turned lots of their services and their projects they have made them digital. So nowadays we read emails, we read messages, we also read from books. Like Maria said, but sometimes our books have the form of the Kindle, and we all have audiobooks, Google Books, and the content, mostly here for our younger learners, as you can see, is graphic novels, online teenage magazines, National Geographic's great content now lives in websites, and of course, video games. So this is basically the trajectory of the texts as we know them throughout the years. It started as two-dimensional, flat, black and white, gradually taking more color, more texture, more dimensions, and nowadays it's you can find it lives in our screens basically, which they also have many forms. So like I said before, our world is increasingly becoming multi-modal. And my agenda today is to give you the definition and some key concepts of multimodal literacy, its importance, the modes, the framework that exists, and some classroom applications. My presentation today is inspired by Oxford University Press's latest paper on multimodality in ELT. The main contributors are Kieran Donaghy, Sylvia Karastathi, and Nick Beachy. But myself, I also contributed a tiny tad bit with some of my students' work, which is obviously digital and multimodal, and was included in the interactive version of the paper. So I guess the million-dollar question, which we just maybe answered, is, can we think of literacy as just a linguistic accomplishment? I wonder. So in the ever-evolving, ever-changing contemporary literacy landscape, it seems that the traditional four skills, the two receptive, the two productive, are no longer enough to communicate effectively in today's world. So we need to encourage our learners to analyze and explore and discuss all these images and sounds and multimedia that they see around them, that they get exposed to them, just like they would with reading and listening texts. And we need to expand our learners' communication skills beyond just speaking and writing, to help them express themselves, again, through multimedia, by composing multimodal texts. So in other words, we must reconsider what contemporary communication means and teach our students in a relevant way to the world around them, in a relevant to their life words, in a realistic way, in other words. So what are these two new skills that emerge, obviously, by trying to help our students to read through screens? We cultivate viewing, and by encouraging and helping our learners understand how to convey meaning and make meaning, we cultivate the skill which is called representing. Why is multimodality important? Let's take a moment and look at the profiles of our learners today. They are digital natives, even though the term digital natives was coined by Mark Prensky in 2001, and he was referring to the millennials. I mean, imagine if the millennials are digital natives, what are Generation Z? What are Generation A? They're born into technology. So our learners today communicate in images. They think 4D, 360 degrees. They in 4K, high definition. They have a short attention span. They prefer bite-sized input. They prefer hands-on, holistic experiences. They are already active agents of their own learning, and they, from a very young age, they are already content creators. And let's take a moment and look at their social circle. How global is it? So contemporary communication, to recap, is increasingly multimodal. The majority of texts that our learners encounter and access and they need to respond to are multimodal. So they need to understand how to comprehend this world around them, and they need to be able to convey themselves or make meaning or negotiate meaning through representing themselves, again, through multimedia. So this new literacy is, like I said before, vital because it's relevant to their life words. And it also relates to life skills. The development of multimodal literacy prepares our learners for effective communication in their private, social, academic, and work lives. Now, the term multiliteracies, which is the basic of multimodality, is not something new. It first got introduced to our world by a forward-looking group of academics, the New London Group, back in the 1990s. They were the first who reflected on the social, cultural, and technological changes in the world happening. And they saw this textual phenomenon, which they called multimodality, and then they introduced multiliteracies in the world. So multimodal literacy, the definition, the key concept is that it refers to the skill of understanding, comprehending the text, the multimodal text, engaging, interacting with it, and employing various modes of communication in order to compose a multimodal text as well. And of course, this acquired multimodal communicative competence is a fundamental element for inclusive teaching practices as well. So why is multimodality empowering? It is empowering because it ensures accessibility. It's all around us. Yes, I'm talking about the Western world. The research is based mostly on the Western world. However, learners with additional needs with regards to reading and writing, or sensory deficits, or learning difficulties, or learning differentiations, disabilities, can benefit from the integration of video, interactive whiteboard materials, and other apps. We have a plethora of apps today, which can cater to their differentiated needs. But multimodality is everywhere. It's also in research. It's an interdisciplinary approach. Multimodal approaches have provided concepts and methods as a framework for the collection and analysis of various semiotic modes of interaction. And therefore, we can see multimodality in linguistics, in gesture studies, in media studies and journalism, comic studies, and of course, film studies. So it's all around us. So we need to give our learners a meta-language to understand, exploit, critically evaluate and analyze what is a mode. Let's start from the basic element. So what is a mode? A mode is a means of communicating, is a communicative resource. It can serve various purposes. It has different functions, and according to the Oxford University Press paper, it has five primary there are 5 primary modes of communication, and these are the linguistic, visual, oral, gestural, and spatial. And of course, each mode has its specific limitations and its specific possibilities. This is what we call the modal affordances, which are related to its meaning-making potential. Let's face it, multimodality is not something new. It's been there always. The world out there is multimodal. It's multisensory. We are exposed to various kinds of stimuli. So hence the 5 primary modes that I explained before. But in the physical world, for example, the gestural, for example, mode operates on our facial expression, our gestures, our body posture, movement, the distance that we keep from other people, the proximity, the eye contact and the gaze that we look. When it comes to linguistic, but looking at it from a spatial perspective, then it's also the color choices that we make, the images that we choose. the layout of the text, the space, the text itself, obviously, the size, the fonts, and paralinguistic elements also, the sound, the volume, the tone of a person's, when a person is speaking, the intonation, the pitch, the melody, the speed, the silences that we make, the pauses, everything. And of course, context creates meaning. Meaning depends on context. Now, in the digital world, we, which is an addition to the multimodal world anyway, we have some new concepts that have arisen, that have emerged. And these are what we call interactivity, because nowadays we navigate through text, which are multimodal, and we need to make navigation very often we make instant navigational decisions. Should I stay in this piece of news that I'm reading right now? Should I pursue other links? Should I revert back to the page that I was looking at, for example? So interactivity is a new term. Timeliness is another. All the others exist anyway. And this is the digital world. This is another classification of the modes by another researcher. But what I would like, again, to take a moment and ask all of you to participate if you are willing and you want. I will give you this table here, which analyzes and explains. In a way, it's not the most analytical explanation, but basically, if we're looking at a painting or a photograph, this is what we call a visual mode. If we're reading a graphic novel or an infographic, then it's a combination of linguistic and visual. If we're watching and listening to a film or a video, then it's an interplay of linguistic, visual, and oral. If we're just listening to a podcast or a radio show, then it's just linguistic and oral. And if we're watching and listening to a short film or video, reading subtitles and captions, we have all the modes at play at the same time. So I was wondering if you would all explore with me the modes on this video. I will let it play for just a short while, and I would really enjoy if you can in the chat box specify how the modes operate on this video, how the linguistic modes operates. Think about the text. Think about the alphabetic text. The linguistic refers to alphabetic text. Think about the layout. Think about the visual mode. What does it refer to? The oral, the gestural, the spatial. Just some ideas. I know maybe it's too much. I hope. Get your suitcase and you walk out of. Can you hear the sound? Yes, the sound of the video, I mean.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll hear it. You can't believe that you're in London at last. Decide to catch a taxi to your hotel in the center of the city. What does the taxi look like? You arrive at your hotel and you leave your bag in your room. You look outside your bedroom window. What can you see? You look up at the sky. What color is it? Okay, we don't have to watch any further. So the basic thing is that when we're analyzing, the linguistic mode lives and operates obviously on the alphabetical text that we see around it, but also on the choice, on the word choice, on the fonts. So the visual mode operates. Any ideas? Instead of me saying, the visual mode, I think, is the easiest. The visual mode is obviously the images which are still or moving, but also the choice of color, what we see in the background, what we see in the foreground. When it comes to the gestural mode, it's all about the presenters, in this case, me, facial expressions, body language. Do I have volunteers? Gestures, thank you. Yes, exactly. Facial expressions, body language. And when it comes to the spatial mode, I have some more. Body language is very important. It is. Yes. Facial expressions. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I haven't given you any time because I'm not looking at the time and I'm kind of anxious that we'll make it on time. Right. So, and with reference to the spatial mode, then it's the arrangement, the whole arrangement of what's going on around the person who is in the center, for example. What is there in the background? Why is it like this? And again, what is the layout of the whole 3D, obviously, picture? Why are things moving? So this is a new kind of literacy that I suggest we introduce and in the classroom, and by giving them this modes, we are integrating, viewing, and representing in the classroom. So let's take it again from the top. Viewing that I mentioned earlier is obviously one of the skills which is linked to the receptive skills of listening, of reading and listening. And it refers to the process of comprehending and responding to multimodal texts. Now, this can be done in two levels. The basic level, at the very beginning, we just want our learners to start noticing the modes, just like I did right now, understanding the modes, give them this meta language, and then start having them analyze and respond emotionally at an emotional level to it. And then for a more advanced level, process and manipulation, it involves learners analyzing, interpreting critically the mode, and this of course involves higher order thinking skills. So our learners practice that HOTS as well. What are the benefits? Well, there's a wealth of research that suggests that multimodal text improve learners' reading comprehension, listening comprehension, the ability to retain and remember vocabulary, their critical thinking, their motivation, their multimodality sparks engagement. And of course, they become critical viewers of what they are exposed, the plethora of messages that they are exposed in society, in their everyday life. Another framework that helps, so how to integrate viewing, the basic framework of pre, while, and post that we apply in our lesson planning when we deal with reading or listening lesson plans. It's the same here. We have a warm-up stage, and then we give them previewing tasks to activate their schemata, to have them anticipate, predict, speculate, ask questions, and set the purpose for our viewing. And then the during viewing process or while viewing process, where they make connections, they confirm their predictions, we pause, we review, we analyze further, we connect to the background, we question and we reflect, and of course, the post-viewing process, where we have the personal response to what we just viewed, and critically evaluate the multimodal text and also reflect further. Another framework is the framework of, so I'm basically giving you some of the tools suggested here. Another framework is the one for extensive viewing, just like we have extensive reading. So learners are encouraged to view a large amount of easily comprehensible, Okras and Mikrasan here, and enjoyable material presented in the target language over an extended period, or narrow viewing, or intensive reading, if that rings a bell, watching episodes of the same TV show again and again, or have one TV show, and then watch all the episodes in chronological order. In that way, our learners become attached, emotionally attached to the characters, to the storyline. So they remember and they retain vocabulary because it's topic related, and so it's an easier step to start with. How do we integrate representing into classroom practice? Well, representing is linked to the productive skills, and it can be done two ways. One is the paper-based. So we have our learners produce, create, and represent themselves through posters, collages, comics, graphic novels, or storyboards. And of course, the digital version of them is our learners can make videos nowadays. They can make slide presentations, infographics, of course. Yes, memes, websites, blogs, social media sites, they become experts at it. What are the benefits? The benefits is that they create real, authentic, multimodal artifacts. So these obviously connect to their life words as learners and as and to their daily lives. Research again indicates that this increases learners' creativity, critical thinking, motivation, empathy, and even confidence. One of the tools, how to integrate representing, the 10-step digital storytelling process, where in our classroom with our learners, and of course we encourage collaboration. All of us, all together, we are equal with our students, come up with a topic or an idea, research to learn further about the topic. Step 3, write a script. Step 4, receive feedback from our peers, from everybody on the script, from maybe our teams, from other teams as well. Revise the script, create a storyboard, gather and create the images and the audio and the video. So the previous steps were the preparation for the what we want to create, and then put it all together, share it, project it, share it with others, and then reflect on our experiences. Not only the others' feedback, but how we felt, how the research went, what we can do better next time. So we need a framework for applying multimodality and multiple literacies, and that framework has recently been provided by Victor Lim and Linda Tan-Kia. These researchers propose the four learning processes that teachers should consider, and these are encountering, exploring, evaluating, and expressing. So when it comes to encountering a text, the focus is on emotional engagement. And these are some of the suggested questions that can trigger that, like what is happening in the film? What is your immediate reaction to it? How does it make you feel and why? Which memories or experiences does it stir in you? The next focus is, the next step is exploring, and the focus is on cognitive understanding now. What happens in the beginning, in the middle, at the end of the story? Which characters interest you the most? What clues are there to tell us what the film is about? And when is it set in the past? Is it in the present? Which characters speak? Which characters don't? And why are their silences maybe important? The next step is evaluating, and the focus is on critical perspectives this time. So talking again about values and opinions, and how would you summarize messages? Who do you think that multimodal text that we watched is, who do you think does it address to? What is the audience, and would you recommend it to somebody? And if you would, who would that be? And the last step is expressing, creating. The focus is on multimodal composition, obviously, now. So we have some tasks here, like write a summary of the film's plot, screenshots and descriptions of the main characters, the main setting, talk about the performance of the main actors, the film's message, write a multimodal analysis of the key scene, make a short video of yourself giving a review, and include any of the elements that you found interesting. According to the same researchers, Lim and Tan-Kia, we also need teachers, apart from the 4 learning processes, we also need to provide our students these 6 features of multimodal literacy learning experiences. And these are: provide our learners with authentic texts, make sure we have collaborative learning, combine explicit learning with inductive learning, of course, have access and exploit digital technology, and produce artifact making. Short films seem to be an ideal resource for all this to have and to work on in the classroom. I would like at this point to suggest some sources and resources where you can go and look for very interesting short films. Nick Peachy has a great selection. You will find it on Pinterest. The British Council, I have combined 3 here. I don't know if you can see them. The British Council has a selection of short films that you can start viewing with your learners. And Fluent U also has a source of short films that I think they are also giving the teachers tools how to use them. So to finish my presentation, I just want to show you, I just want to mention that obviously we're in some classroom applications, like I said earlier. In the classroom, we can work in many ways. We can have the paper-based composition of multimodal texts, but some themes, some thematics might be interesting. With my classroom, with my classes, we have been working on the environment a lot. We have been working on friendship and relationships, on empathy and bullying, on different advertising elements, advertising this, advertising that. And I just want to show you the different types of films, paper-based or handmade, like you saw before. This is a fantastic sample of an infographic that is handmade, that one of my students created after she watched Ken Robinson's talk on public education that kills creativity, after we watched and talked about it. And if I can take some moment, I don't know if do I have time or not?
You do have
Not much. Okay, I just wanted to show
5 whole
5?
minutes.
What?
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. I just want to screen share something else before I say thank you. Some samples of representation in a digital form that my students have created. And maybe also, no, very quickly, I will also show you places and digital tools that can help you, or digital platforms. I don't know if you can see my screen. I'm sharing my Padlet platforms right now. This is another way of hosting infographics, social media from one student, another student's version of an infographic on social media, how to use. So these are various projects that we have done in the classroom, and Padlet is a great place to host all this multimodal work. This is another sample of a process, another infographic relating to a process, how to study and work effectively, a film review after I asked my students all to watch it. So you see how they incorporate image, even sound. I will also give you a sample with sound. In the digital world, we have these affordances. Like I said before, every mode has its limitations and its possibilities. So this is their creation. I have access to it, but this is their creation. I had nothing to do with the layout and their choices, the word choices and everything else that they did. This is how I can manipulate Padlet. I can upload tasks, for example, with consent to flip learning that we talked about with Dr. Lavas earlier. And okay, one example of a combination of everything. One of my students created this on Canva. She's an expert on Canva on her own. I had nothing to do with this. I did restaurant someway. So she has added extra elements. And she decided to make this analysis after everything. like to share my contribution, like I told you before, in the interactive version of the Oxford University press paper, was how they can also create their own videos. They don't need us. They have the tools to create this themselves. Okay, I'm just picking one right now. I will be sharing John's blog.
Hi, I'm John, and today I will be talking about siblings. A lot of people who don't have siblings say they wish they had, while other people with siblings say they hate them. So, here is my experience with my brother, who is 5 years older than me, and my sister, who is 6 years older than me. I believe that someone's relationship with their sibling mostly depends on the
etc., etc. I'm past my time. Thank you very much for having me and hosting my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Panorea, so much for the beautiful presentation, the ideas. Well done to you and your student, actually. Okay, that was amazing. Thank you.
It's an interesting framework, isn't it?
It is, and it boosts creativity so much.
And it gives power and voice to our learners. Everything that you saw was made by the learners. I mean, we have discussions, just like when you do an essay, right? First, you have discussions in the class. You look at one thing, you look at another, and then you have them write. Now, they're given the chance to do this on multiple levels, multiple layers. They can exploit the modes. They are creators themselves.
And actually, it's a very interesting type of alternative assessment. You can assess them through that.
Indeed. There is so much
enough
more
with the test, and I know we need tests, but maybe we can, reduce the number of it and use all these types of different modes to assess them, keep their online portfolio, and because this is reading, this is listening, I mean, you can assess everything through that. I think there's a question.
We're going to that direction, by the way. Yes, Vasiliki Padlet is a fantastic tool. I agree.
Yeah. Bambasiotu Yulia wants to ask, what is the estimated time required to prepare a multimodal lesson effectively for maximizing student engagement? And what methods can we employ to assess the learning outcomes achieved?
For sure, assess is a different story, is another presentation, but it would take a long time. That the idea that you said, Vicky, about having them preparing online portfolios is a great idea. Digital portfolios, I mean. Now, about the time, that is a very good question. Things have changed. In the past, as teachers, we used to just show a video to our students to impress them or to pass the time while we do something else, correcting something else. Nowadays, this is no longer the case. Nowadays, we need to be very picky with the material that we choose to expose our learners to show to our learners, not necessarily to impress them, because information is out there and they're exposed to this information every day in their everyday lives. So it's not information that we should be worried about. It's make a needs analysis for our students, for the profiles of our students, and what we would like to teach them or show them or guide them, be an orchestrator, not just a teacher, and go to that direction. So I guess it's a complicated process. It's not easy, but you become better and better in time, and it all depends on which students you have there every time. It's different.
I guess it will require lots of hours on your part. I mean, and this cannot be covered in one lesson. You definitely need a series of lessons to complete it, to give feedback, to present it.
Yes, but we do get the help of, there are some publishers out there that have great material which can help us. I know now I'm not, it's not really a good idea to say some, but if we research, we will find some to our help.
Can I ask a question about the students? What is the first reaction they get when you present that? Because I know that Greek students are not familiar with that type of teaching and learning and assessment. So usually, it's very sterile, at least in some public schools.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's the first reaction, and what is the reaction or the feeling after they complete all that?
I've seen the transformation. Not to all the students. Some students are ready for it. They are because the multimodality or teaching the multimodal way is already out there. Maybe not in 100% formal settings, but I know many teachers who already implement it. So some students are more ready, some others are surprised, but it certainly sparks engagement from the very first day. Parents is a different story. But again, when they see the results and examinations, etc., and the more we work on it, and when we educate parents and we inform them that through our work, they become critical evaluators of the multiple text, the multimodal text that surround them, so they become more responsible and active agents of their own learning process. Again, it kind of reassures them, the parents, I mean.
That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of fake news out there.
A lot of, sure.
Most of the content is fake or inappropriate, or just it misinforms students, and you get to hear all these weird things, and you say, "Oh, where did you hear that? It's on TikTok, really?"
True.
So yeah, that is one of the best life skills actually they can get. Great job, well done. Great ideas. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Any other questions from the audience? Thank you.
A big thanks to Rea Babali, who is representing Tesol Greece. And we've had a mini surprise in the middle while Rea was presenting. The president of IATEFL, Miss Alexandra Popovsky, is here. And whenever she is ready, not right now, in case she's not, she could perhaps say hi. It's a great honor that Alexandra found time in her busy schedule to be here with us, and we really appreciate it. The next person to be up is the representative of ELTA Serbia. I cannot see, I can see Dragana. I could see her just a moment ago, and then the screen changed. Dragana is going to be introduced by Andihoni, so the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. So it is a great pleasure for me to be introducing Ms. Dragana MIKIC, who is an English language teacher and teacher education from Nice, Serbia. She has been working in primary and secondary education with adults too, teaching online classes, and she's also a teacher educator for more than 16 years. She's an active member of eTwinning, Erasmus Plus project coordinator, very active at the British Council website, an online professional English network and European SchoolNet Academy. So, without further ado, the floor is yours.
Dragana is informing us that she's got sound issues.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Let's give her a minute. Let's not stress her, because Dragana, you are muted. I'm not sure if this plays a part to it. And if need be, you can log out and relog. In the meantime, you know what I'm going to say. I have put the link in the chat, and I will put it once again because the chat tends to okay, give me the microphone doesn't allow access. In that case, try connecting from your phone, and you can silence the computer and keep the mobile phone so that you can have audio. Also, as Rob says, leave and come back. So. So something weird is happening. Okay. Let me see what Dragana is suggesting. So just in the meantime, let me remind you that there is a voting going on for the name of the new entity, the new Teachers Association that is going to be Tesol Macedonia-thrace Northern Greece with a new name. In fact, it's nothing more than that. But we want you to vote, and the voting is open. I have put the link, but let me put it again because it was high up and there have been many comments added since then. So let me give you the link once again. Dragana, have you tried to see how you can present, how you can try to leave and come back? Okay, so you want one of us to use project the presentation and you will be speaking through your phone, something like that. Okay, you don't have to do this, but it's okay. I can assist. So let me see. I am waiting for Dragana's presentation. I haven't received anything so far. Okay. Now, yes, good. I can see that Dragana is getting back in, and I can see that we have her presentation as well, which I'm downloading so that I can project. So I am simply sharing the presentation that Dragana. Dragana, can you hear us? Can you?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I have never had problems before, but this was such a successful period for me the last couple of months that something has to happen. I had to repair my computer and I had technical problems for the first time. And I hope you will enjoy the presentation.
Thank you so much. It's great to have a representative from our associates, ELTA Serbia, and the floor is yours, Antigone, to present Dragana.
Sorry for the delay. I hope I will make up for that, and I hope you hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear indeed.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you all here today. I like Greek people very much. I have visited Athens, Thessaloniki, Napoli, and Metore. And I think that the Serbian and Greek mentality are similar because Greek people are cheerful and kind, and I like meeting them very much. I will have to make just another quick comment. I've chosen two topics, introducing environmental issues into language teaching classes, and the other one is about sustainability. But I had to choose what to present in half an hour, and I have chosen the topic of introducing environmental issues, and to cover it completely with practical examples, better than just presenting theory and no practice and no practical activities and advices. And I will do my best to make the presentation about sustainable development as well, and to send it to the participants if you send me the emails during the next week. I will be glad to do that. And now I can start my presentation. The learning outcomes of the first part are why environmental issues should be a constant topic in language classes, and the benefits from discussing these topics. Then I will show the ways how to present key environmental terms and concepts to learners, and different ways of introducing these topics. You can go to the next slide. Maybe I can, I suppose that I cannot change the slides of my presentations from my computer. I don't know if I can be signed in double. Maybe I can share my screen too. I have the option on my laptop.
You can share your screen. It's just a matter of what is faster, whatever you prefer. That's what I told you in the first place. To keep
okay, I had to hurry up. It says disabled share because you're sharing my screen. Let's try another way. I would like to share my screen. Okay. Now I will open the presentation. Here it is. It doesn't work.
There is something else I can suggest. Let me share my screen as I was sharing it. Let me go into presentation mode, but what I will do
well,
is
now it has.
I have shared my screen. That's why I will give you control rights on my screen. Check if you can change the slides. Okay, check if you can change the slides. Accept the invitation to control my screen, and that means that you might be able to change the slides. I'm not sure if this functionality
okay,
works.
now I think, can you see it now?
We can, because I am sharing my screen. You are not sharing.
So you want to share your screen?
Yeah, it's not what I want.
Okay,
it's what works.
it says stop share.
Do you want me to stop sharing so that you can share yours to try it again? It's not a problem.
Well, it says on my screen, it says AppZoom is sharing your screen.
Let me stop sharing so that you can share yours. You try to share yours.
Well, it says that it is already shared.
No, it's not, because nobody is sharing right now.
Can you see it? No?
Oh, you would be able to see it as well.
Uh-huh. Yes, of course.
Ah, see, now we can see it.
Okay. Can you see it now?
It's starting to load. Yes. And now press.
Here it is. Okay. Sorry, it's easier this way, and I wouldn't like to bother you to repeat every time. Please, next slide, and that's it. So let me continue. By the end of this first part, the participants will be able to explain the importance of including environmental issues in their classes, the factors that motivate teachers for including these issues, and the benefits of teaching environmental issues for our learners. This is the next one. Ask yourself, this is for the participants. Are you a teacher who never stops learning, who wants to have interesting classes, and who wants the learners to leave the classroom with some new knowledge, skills, or values? Think about your views on teaching generally, and think about your role as a teacher, and make notes on the questions. Maybe we don't have time for the notes, but just think about that quickly. What do you do? What do you teach? What else do you teach? Who do you teach? What do learners expect from your classes? And what do you prepare the learners for? So we're not only teaching our subjects because of the rules and marks, but also we have to prepare our students for real life and for the field of work. Now I will read the poem called Teacher by Alan Malley. Teacher, what do you do? I'm a teacher. What do you teach? People. What do you teach them? English. You mean grammar, verbs, nouns, pronunciation, conjugation, articles and particles, negatives and interrogatives? That too. What do you mean that too? Well, I also try to teach them how to think and feel, show them inspiration, aspiration, cooperation, participation, consolation, innovation, help them think about globalization, exploitation, confrontation, incarceration, discrimination, degradation, subjugation, how inequality brings poverty, how intolerance brings violence, how need is denied by greed, how isms becomes prisons, how thinking and feeling can bring about healing. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe you should stick to language, forget about anguish. You can't change the world. But if I did that, I'd be a cheater, not a teacher. Alan Malley. Now you can see here some terms about global issues, pollution, climate crisis, environmental issues. Sustainability are the largest terms, and the other terms are gender equality, human rights, confrontation, globalization, health, exploitation. The poem in the previous activity lists some global issues worth discussing in classes. But what are global issues? Global issues are problems or risks that affect local communities and that are shared among different societies within our global community. These global issues can be solved only through cooperation among nations. Girls and women aren't able to do the same things as boys and men. It's about gender equality. Some people are used by others who have more power than them. It is related to exploitation. Problems that nature has include changes in temperature, a lack of water, and higher temperatures around the world. Environmental issues. Every person around the world should have the same freedoms and rights related to human rights. Now we'll hear about the learners explaining some of the global issues. Min, when the teacher says we're going to discuss environmental issues, I know we'll talk about the problems that the planet has had lately because of human activity, like the lack of clean water, the climate crisis, global heating, and endangered animals. Jafari, we had some classes on human rights, and we learned about the freedoms that all people of the world have or should have, because we are all human beings. We started from the right to life and then looked at rights to education, food, health, and work. Matthias, in this lesson, I've learned that in some countries, girls and women can't get the same education and job opportunities as boys and men. They also can't be active in society and politics. This makes me really upset. Raja, I know that not all people are treated in a fair way, but I was shocked when I found out that around the world there are children who are forced to fight in wars as soldiers and people who work very hard without being paid. We should all learn about these issues and stop this from happening. These are the examples of different global issues that I'm presenting because we as teachers are not only supposed to teach language in terms of rules and vocabulary, but also to promote creative and critical thinking and to prepare our students for solving real-life problems. Noor, when we talk about health as a global issue, we think about keeping diseases that affect many people around the world, such as malaria or AIDS, under control. A recent example is COVID-19. Alan Malley says that avoiding discussions on global topics turns the teacher into a cheater. What do you think about Alan Malley's comment? The participants can type their opinions in the chat. Language teachers want their learners to be fluent in the language they are learning and be able to communicate with people around the world on a variety of topics. They want them to be able to discuss a wide range of topics such as exploitation, injustice, oppression, and environmental destruction. To do this, they need not only accuracy and fluency, but also an awareness of and knowledge about these global issues. In a survey from 2019 in the USA, teachers who do not approach environmental issues in their classes were asked about their reasons. Look at what they said. It's not related to the subject I teach. My learners are too young. I don't know enough about it. I don't have the materials to teach this subject. I don't believe in climate change. And now, just to change, here it is. These are the reasons why this is not true. I don't believe in climate change. 99% of scientists now believe that humans are causing global warming. As a teacher, I rely on science, but I also look around me and the evidence can't be denied. It's not related to the subject I teach. As a language teacher, I find connections between most of the topics we discuss in class and environmental issues. The other day, we were talking about types of holidays, and the learners mentioned how much litter many tourists leave behind. My learners are too young. And here's the example for this. I'm a primary teacher, and I always start from practical things such as recycling and picking up litter around our neighborhood. It's never too early to learn responsibility. I don't know enough about it. I generally bring environmental issues into our class discussions, so this is the solution for this problem, if you don't know enough about that. I generally bring environmental issues into our class discussions by talking about my personal experience. Yesterday, I mentioned how different winters are now from when I was a child. The learners were really interested, so gave them a project to look into possible explanations. I started reading on this topic too. You don't have to be an expert. You can learn as you go. I don't have the materials to teach this subject. Beside the texts and topics in my course book, I can find lots of materials online. I've also noticed that learners love to get involved in creating materials on environmental issues, and they contribute with pictures, videos, and articles. You'll work on key terms and concepts related to environmental issues in the second part of this presentation, but you need to understand the variety of aspects that go under this umbrella term. What are the first environmental issues that come to your mind that affect the whole world? Maybe you thought of the climate crisis and global heating because they refer to the impact that human activity has on the climate of the planet, and they are discussed quite regularly in the media. Read the text presenting 5 other environmental issues. The text says it's not just climate change. The first part is about wildlife loss. Specialists estimate that species are going extinct 100 to 1,000 times faster as a result of human influence. If we do not change anything, by 2100, half of the planet's species will be lost. Overall, around 40% of all known animal species are facing extinction. Deforestation. Forests still cover about 30% of the world's land, but they are disappearing at an alarming rate. 15 billion trees are cut down every year. Since humans started exploiting forests, about 46% of the planet's trees have been cut down. Lack of water. 1.1 billion people do not have clean water. Women and girls around the globe spend an estimated 200 hours fetching water every day. By 2050, 5 times more land will be affected by severe drought compared to today. Pollution. Pollution is one of the biggest killers, together with malaria and HIV. Every year, 4.2 million deaths are caused by air pollution. There are more than 500 million cars in the world, and by 2030, the number will rise to 1 billion. This means the pollution level will be more than double. Soil degradation. Every year, 24 billion tons of fertile soil is lost. A third of the planet's land is degraded. If this trend continues, 94% of the planet's land areas could become degraded by 2050.
Dragana, excuse me for a second. We have 5 minutes left, okay?
Well, I thought I could extend. I thought I have time from 12:35 to 5 minutes past 1. That was the schedule.
The schedule is one,
One.
your schedule was 1:15 to 1:45, but because you were late to start, we could extend that to
5
10
minutes.
to, yes, another 5 minutes. Just don't forget that there's 30-minute presentations for all of us.
Okay, sorry, I thought that in the schedule it was 12:35 till 5 minutes past 1. So I have many more slides and I will send the presentation to the participants. Language classes are generally flexible in terms of the topics that you teach. Sometimes the problems are the curriculum you have to cover entirely. But you can use the course book creatively and add questions about environmental issues. These questions can lead learners to explore topics further. Then they come up with ideas and questions. There is the problem with the anxiety that learners feel when discussing some topics. But it can be solved. You will see when I send the presentation about the solution to eco-anxiety. Specially designed lessons to teach environmental issues, while some of the teachers dedicate the whole lessons to environmental issues and engage participants to be active. The lack of subject-specific vocabulary. We don't know the terms and concepts that allow us to talk about the environment. It can all be solved. Now, these are what some people said about climate change and environmental issues. I will skip this part. Just to read this one, the world is reaching the tipping point beyond which climate change may become irreversible. If this happens, we risk denying present and future generations the right to a healthy and sustainable planet. The whole of humanity stands to lose. We as teachers are responsible to draw learners' attention to these problems. Education is, according to UNESCO, critical in helping populations understand and address the impacts of climate change and encourage the changes in attitudes and behavior. In order to adopt more sustainable lifestyles and to develop skills that support different modules of economies. And now I have the part how teachers can get actively involved in promoting awareness and action about environmental issues. I don't know if there is any chance for me to have 10 extra minutes because the next part is really useful.
Well, not 10, but 5.
Okay, thank you very much. Teachers don't have to be specialists in this field of environmental issues. You just need to create awareness, encourage learners to do some research and take some actions. In this way, you contribute to the global action required for stopping environmental issues. This is an area of your teaching that you can develop by collaborating with your learners. It's important to have the constructivist approach. And you can, when you introduce these topics, you can explain that you will explore the topic together with your learners. The teachers just need to be willing to learn while exploring this field, and they don't have to be specialists. Through continuous professional development, teachers find out and experiment with numerous methods and select the methods that are most suitable. you can select activities and ideas closer to your teaching philosophy and principles. It's important to prepare learners for life after graduation and make them active citizens of the world. We have to keep this in mind when we design our classes about the environmental issues. And what the learner said, I feel that what I learned can be used in real life. And the other student says he has need for the words related to climate crisis in order to understand the problems in the environment. The other student is frustrated and depressed because they just talk, they don't do anything. So it's better to have hands-on approach. And some of them do projects related to the environment, and they are practical. They can see changes at home, at school, and they're all recycling more, so hands-on projects and immediate results. The benefits of including environmental issues: learners need to do research and then make their own decisions, develop critical and creative thinking. They can look at the topics from a variety of perspectives, and many international certificates include texts and topics related to environmental issues. They become more sensitive toward these issues. They can make their voices heard. Learning can take place inside and outside the classroom, and learners acquire vocabulary and structures that allow them to communicate with people all around the world on current topics. Now you can explain why it's important to include environmental issues in your classes, describe the factors that motivate you to do this, and identify the benefits of teaching these issues.
We are coming to the end of this presentation.
Okay, the Oxford Junior Dictionary deleted many words related to nature and replaced them with the words related to technology. And the words shape how we see the world and how we interact with nature and society. The words that replace them create an image of lonely childhood, completely disconnected from nature. And it's important to think about what long-term effects these vocabulary changes may bring about. So the language we use affects how we see the world, and we have to be particularly careful when we use the vocabulary. I will skip this part.
We really need to finish because there are other people who need to present, and also
Okay.
our participants have other obligations during the day. Therefore, we need to be somehow mindful of the program.
Sorry, this is only half of my presentation, and these are in bold the more modern terms: climate crisis emergency, climate denier, global heating, greenhouse gas emissions, wildlife and fish populations. If you send me the emails of the participants,
Dragana, do not worry, you have already sent me the presentation. It is available.
Okay.
If members request it, we can send it, and thank you so much.
Okay, I hope it will be very useful, because this is only half of the presentation and the second part is more practical, and I wish all the participants to make good use of this presentation and maybe use it for their presentations as well. I wish you all the best, and if there are people who are Catholic, I wish them happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
So much.
Thank you.
So I think it's we have fallen behind our schedule, but this is not an issue. Dragana, could you please stop sharing? Thank you. There is something wrong. Thank you. I would like to give everybody a 5-minute break, but I'm afraid that if we do that, it will take even more time. And because the next presentation is what the Tesol Macedonia-thrace board is presenting to explain the rebranding process. And right now we have quite a lot of participants. I will just move on with this. And I would like to invite my colleagues who are here to switch on their cameras so that they are visible, and to please help whenever it is needed, because this is actually meant to be a discussion, although I have prepared a presentation to make things a bit easier on all of us. So the decision has been taken for us to move into what we call a rebranding process. And this presentation aims to explain why, how, and when this is going to happen. The aim of this presentation is to help those of our members, friends, associates, speakers who did not take part in the pre-AGM or the AGM preparation online meetings to find out what is happening and why we are doing this. So as you can see, our train leaves this very snowy environment, and I feel that Tesol Macedonia-thrace, Northern Greece, is going to emerge in the same way at some point, nice and green and hopeful, and leave behind all the complications. In today's presentation, we are going to take you through the reasons, the steps and stages, hopefully answer how this is going to be done, though with the generous sponsorship and help of Philip Dieci, we will have next Sunday to explain this even further, both during the AGM and during our presence at the stand of Tesol Macedonia-thrace, Northern Greece. At the same time, it's the opportune moment to engage in some analysis of the threats and the opportunities, and remind you that you are the powerful AGM, so there is a lot that you can do to help. So the reasons for rebranding, I'm sorry to be taking you back to 2020, a year that nobody wants to remember, not because of COVID, but because of our inability to create a ballot. What does that mean? There were fewer volunteers than they were required so that a ballot could be produced. Just to remind you, at the time we needed 9 people for the board and 3 other members as what we call the oversight or supervisory committee. It was impossible to get a ballot in order. Actually, my name remained on the whiteboard for 45 minutes. People came and went, giving a certain agenda. I will participate only if I'm not asked to work. I will put in my name, but only just a name. I will not do anything, actually. And nothing happened. It was agreed that we would meet later on in March, but of course, by March, there was a lockdown. And after that, there was another lockdown. And after that, there was another lockdown. The scary part was not the lockdown. The scary part was the fact that for the first time, the dwindling numbers actually caused havoc. For the first time, the fact that people do not think that the AGM is something important harmed Tesol, Macedonia-thrace, Northern Greece. Now, I need to say that, and I'm not sure if Philip stayed on, but it was due to Philip that we came back. It was his idea to help us in 2022 sponsor a room for Tesol Macedonia-thrace, Northern Greece, and we started the Restart project, for which Antigone, Maria, and Tanya were invited to speak, and they remained on for 2 years. It was Vicky's decision to enter the ballot, and we thank her a lot for this. I think the girls were, in a way, told off to do it. They did want to do it, but they told me that if we wanted to be a team, we would be a team, and I really appreciate that. But, you know, teachers' associations are not run like this. We cannot run this association because we are a nice bunch of friends and we enjoy spending time with each other. This is how we have an informal meeting. If there is no place for Tesol, if there is no place for an independent, non-profit, teacher-based, teacher-led association, then so be it. We need to come to terms with it, and we cannot twist anybody's arm. So the upshot of this situation was that the AGM, which was held in March 2022, had to take a number of votes, votes by a show of hands. At the time, we voted that members can run for the board via a digital connection. Tanya was actually in with COVID. She couldn't attend. The number of board members was dropped down to 5 to reflect better the members that we have. Our membership is not 350 people, so there is no need for 9 board members. And we also voted, additionally to that, for a number of years, Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece has not been working with Tesol Inc. In fact, years and years ago, I tried under the presidency of Paul Shaw to find somebody who would be, somebody meaning one of our members, who would be willing to travel to the United States to represent Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece there, but nobody was willing, and we truly understand the reasons why. On top of that, Tesol Inc. is a very demanding association that actually expects that the board members will be individual members of the association so that the association merits the name. So any day now, Tesol Inc. could turn around and say, you're not Tesol. And of course, we cannot name ourselves IATEFL because this is a whole issue. I stands for an international, and IATEFL is IATEFL. We are associates of IATEFL. We are not IATEFL, and we respect that. So based on all these and the number of irregularities that have to do with the, let's say, legal aspect of how this association was set up, have forced us to say the bold thing. It's time to stop being Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece, change things a little bit, but in essence remain the same and make a new start. Start with a new organization. So what is this rebranding? As you know, I have kept uploading the link throughout the weekend. We have circulated a Google form. You don't need to be a member to vote. And we're trying to find our new name. There will be a new logo based on the new name, a new constitution on which I've been working. We have sought legal advice, and the lawyer has, we have been in discussion. He has advised me to draft it, send it to him. He is going to work on it, make it even more legal, than I have made it so far, though I'm actually copying the existing constitution so that we can keep the same principles and the same idea. So at the end of the day, Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece as an essence, as a soul, is not going away. And this goes out to our associates, to IATEFL, to our sponsors, to other stakeholders, and most importantly, to our members. We are simply trying to do things right so that the people who take over after us have a better chance. So how is all this going to happen? It has started happening already. We started during the first weekend of March. First of all, during the end of February, beginning of March, I had 2 meetings with a lawyer, one online, one on the phone. Our lawyer is an ex-board member's, but current colleague's husband, who has been working free of charge. He has given up his free time to work for us free of charge, and we truly appreciate this. So we know what we need to do, and we have had 3 online meetings. One was held for the members of the boards of I would say the 2 previous boards, people who are honorary members, people who are really important for our organization. Some of them were informed personally over the phone. And then we had 2 meetings held on the same day, Sunday, the 3rd of March. We had 2 meetings, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, so that people could find out what is happening and mainly not panic. We are fully aware that we handle money that has been given for your membership. And this money is safe with us. The money is not going to disappear. It's not going to go away. The second step is that on the 7th of April, we have our AGM at the IP from 6 to 9 to 7:30. There we will do our we will give account of how the money has been spent. I should say how the money has been saved, because it has not been spent. In the fullness of time, we suspect that even if the new board takes the decision to keep the meetings digital, which is, in my opinion, this is Maria speaking, the best possible solution. Two of them, probably the Welcome Back Day conference and the conference, will need to be done face to face. Otherwise, there will be problems. As you know, non-profit organizations should not make profit. So the money should be spent towards something that we do for the association. All of this is going to be discussed, and throughout our presence at the stand, we will be signing, collecting signatures for the new constitution. What does that mean? If we do not have those 20, 30 signatures, this means nobody wants this. It's all talk. I know that some of you will think, come on, somebody else will go, somebody else will sign. No, unless it's your signature, it's probably not going to happen. People lose opportunities for digital points, decimal points, not for signatures. Signatures are a lot more important. Come to the IP, have your coffee, go through the stands, and come to us and sign the new constitution. You do not need to be a new member, and you don't need to be an old member, a lapsed member. You don't need to pay any money. You just sign. And by this, you ensure that we will keep existing. Now, the new constitution will need to be taken to the courthouse and to be approved and ratified by the Greek legal system. This might take a long time. We do not know how long. At some point, quite exaggerated time frames were mentioned. The lawyer has assured me that it is long, but not that long. So far, we are planning until the end of summer, and we have made arrangements for our presence in the autumn exhibitions so that you will not miss out on anything that you have paid for. And of course, once the new constitution is in, this board will resign. This board will resign on Sunday. I should have mentioned that. Some of us, 2, 3, as many of us as we wish, will ask for your a vote of hand to stay as interim controllers. So from next Monday onwards, I will not be the chairperson of Tesol, Macedonia-thrace, Northern Greece. I will be an interim controller. It's not easy, but I've done it in the past and I will do it again. And to be honest, it's going to be a lot easier than it was in the previous time, because last time I was an interim controller, we were in a limbo. We had to zip it and not do any events. Now we can do everything, and we will keep offering CPD events. We are already in communication with the next speakers. And if any of you have any brilliant ideas, do share them. The money is there. As we have very limited face-to-face events, we have transferred money from 2023 to 2020, from 2022, 23 to 2023, 24. The same is going to happen now. There will be a fiscal report, but the money will need to be saved and guarded, because at some point there will be legal expenses, not perhaps the fee for Vasilis Christodoulou, our lawyer, but there will be some kind of legal expenses, and we might need EDRA. EDRA would be the legal basis of our association. I have been in touch with several institutions, but being part of an existing institution is very complex, and I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think there is any bright light at the end of that tunnel. The property of Tesol Macedonia-thrace will need to be created at some point. We have a mobile phone, which was bought fairly recently, before the previous board, I mean the 2020 board, resigned. But a laptop will be needed, and a new website will need to be designed. But through this rebranding, our association will be stronger, more legitimate, open to new members to be run and to be guided into the future. We will be able to find more associates. I personally have enjoyed working with IATEFL associates, ELTA Serbia, ETAL, ETAI, Beta, IATEFL Poland, and we have enjoyed being part of this big family. The small form of our association has been a great benefit. It's been great trying to work with some people who keep coming to the events. We want to maintain this, and we want to keep giving friendly, flexible, value for money, but structured CPD. My aim would be to work along the lines of creating courses, providing something. We might find a trainer in Greece who can give us a discount for Tesol Macedonia-Thrace, or whatever it's going to be called in the future. I don't want to spoil the surprise. I know which which name is getting more votes, but I don't want to break the magic for next Sunday. So it could be that we might get even better opportunities for scholarships and funds. We might even be able to participate in bigger projects. In my opinion, the best thing is that the next board that take over will not inherit problems. We will be able to look them straight in the eye and say, here it is, a nice little association with a small but willing, flexible membership, and here is the money to work with it. But threats, there are many. One of it is people getting scared and saying they're running away with our money. We have stopped receiving money as of February 2024. You do not need to renew your memberships. Many people who have asked to join the association have been put on a provisional list, which is clearly marked. When things become clear, they will pay their membership. And of course, the money saved is going to be used, is going to be put in good use. We may not have enough signatures to start the new association. This is going to be extremely difficult, and I hope this doesn't happen. Let me press the button. With the new association in place, we may once again have the same problem. Nobody to put themselves on the ballot. I need to explain something. Although we are leaving, none of us, and I speak on behalf of all 5 of us, though Tanya is not here, but please note, dear colleagues, that we will be there to help. We're not going to become the evil mothers-in-law, you know, that scold the new board. We're not going to become the terrorizing bullies. We were the ones that did it right. How are you holding the floor? But if people want help, assistance, you know, a hug, a helping hand, we will be there as long as this is wanted. Those of you who can put your names on the ballot, do not stop because you think, I do not know how this is done. Believe me, none of us knew how this is done, and somehow we are doing it. The next thing that I would like you to bear in mind is that we are increasingly concerned about the low numbers of participants in today's event, in other events. People watch the recordings, but it's very important for us to appear strong. Also, the longer it takes for the new agreement, for the new constitution to be ratified, our members might disappear. This means that we need to keep reminding the public that we exist. We will keep being Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece until we cannot be Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues for their support, their hard work, their devotion, their commitment, for giving up their free time. But when you look at those faces, imagine these faces are all blank. And imagine your face. It is your face you should be seeing. Tesol has a lot to offer. And despite the fact that we are a small association, we have done a lot, and we have been greatly respected in Europe for what we have contributed. Let's keep this. Another name, a new name, that doesn't change anything. We will handle the rebranding as long as we have you. Stay in touch. Come to the AGM, sign the new constitution, talk about us. Keep coming to our events. The more attendees, the more famous speakers we can get to speak for us. And please do not make that mistake. The famous speakers ask, how many do you get per event? And they are not to be blamed. They are busy people. They are used to getting 200 people when they present. They are not used to getting 10. So, calling in favors goes that far, and it doesn't go any farther than that. And of course, think about standing for the board. Do you want to talk to us? Come to IP. Talk to us and we will give you all the information you need. Do you want to be considered for the next ballot? Put your name on the provisional list for the ballot so that we know who we are. And we are here to answer your questions. This is the invitation to our session at IP, Teaching Speaking Skills, Challenges and Opportunities. We will be presenting. Don't forget to vote for our new name, and thank you for your attention. We are here to answer your questions. If there are any questions, of course. Thank you so much, Alexandra.
Not left any time, any space for questions. You're always so thorough.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not easy. Thank you so much, Philip, for
Philip.
being here. Thank you, Alexandra, for being here. I know that for people who are conference hopping all the time, this is extremely difficult to manage. We owe a great debt of gratitude to Philip because he has been supporting us, but all we want to do is make everything better, not worse, bigger, not smaller. And of course, for the five of us, the responsibility of telling people that we are giving them an existing problem and passing it on matters a lot. So thank you. And I think it's time for me to present Rob if there aren't any questions. Yes, are there any questions? No? So
we will all be there. We will all be there.
Yes, we will all be there. We will stay the whole day. We will be open to
and not only.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Effie. We count on members like Effie and all those of you here, Martha, Hara, Iulia Babasiotu, Kiki, Fedra. You're always at our sessions, and this matters a lot. Thank you so much. Yes, whatever the name, exactly. The name doesn't matter. It's going to be a new association that has the potential to work better with other associations. So without...
Can I, Maria?
Yes, of course.
Something that is related to the forms, it's not related to Tesol directly. Okay, since Maria has mentioned she has sent the form to vote, I would like to ask our members for their time in a piece of research that Maria SACHPAZIAN and I are currently conducting. So I'm going to share a link.
That's another link, not the link to vote.
It's not to vote. It's a questionnaire. It doesn't take a long time to complete it. So I just want to say that I'm going to share the link. And if you have some time to help us collecting data, it addresses Greek EFL instructors. So thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. We all support Tesol. This is important. Associations are important for professional development, and we need to keep going. Thank you.
So today it's my great, it's a happy moment when I have to introduce this guy, Rob Howard, my very good friend, who is the father of 10 in 10 EFL talks, which for some reason he tries to avoid lately. Where are you, Rob? I can't see you. Where did you go? Don't jump into that puddle. Come and tell us, where is 10 in 10 EFL talks? We want them back.
It's floating somewhere here in the pond.
Floating somewhere. So thank you very much for giving up your Easter Sunday for us. Rob is based in Poland, and he's actually the representative of TEFL Poland. He's the Online Language Center and Business Language Training Institute owner. He's also, as I mentioned, the new TEFL Poland president. And he's one of the founders behind this amazing innovation, independent authors and publishers a group of teachers who have decided to publish their own books. And oh my God, what little beauties they have produced. Thank you so much. And Rob, it's always an honor to have you here. Rob is going to be talking about AI, closing the AI strand that Dimitris Primalis started, but he promised me that his session is edgy. So let's buckle up.
Aren't all my sessions edgy?
You are edgy.
That's it. Thanks so much. And I just want to say that, you know, I've been with Macedonia-Thrace, Northern Greece for years. I love coming out there and I love participating, and you know that I'm going to be there no matter what the name is and no matter who's in the chair. So, here's to the future, and we're here to help you and support you. Great. Okay, so that being said, that was the positive part of my message. Now let's go to the negative. No, it won't be very negative. Maybe. All right, so first of all, I'd like to introduce the future of education.
In a groundbreaking leap forward in educational technology, a new innovative tool emerges as the latest AI-powered marvel set to revolutionize the way we approach learning. This state-of-the-art device combines the historical ingenuity of mechanics with cutting-edge artificial intelligence. Engineered to adapt and respond to individual learning styles, it is not merely a tool for performing with unprecedented speed and accuracy. It is an interactive learning companion, capable of guiding students through complex concepts with intuitive understanding and personalized feedback mechanisms.
Okay, you get the idea. Here's the machine. Welcome to the future. Anybody know what this machine is? I would love to.
I know it's not recent. It doesn't look modern. You are cheating.
You think?
I don't think it's modern. I think it's like, I don't know, from some sort of monastery in the 1600s.
That's why I was in Moldova. I was searching the wineries in Moldova in the monasteries. Now, this is Pascal's calculator. And welcome to the year 1642. Here is AI of the past. Now, why am I talking about this? Because one of the things, yes, AI is here with us. It's a whole different talk to do. I don't believe AI should be used in the classroom, but as a teacher tool. But that's a whole different talk, which I'll do for the new association when you're ready. So, this Matt Miller had put together a really good book, AI for Educators, which came up with a lot of good information. Look at the date. It's now outdated. It's old. And most of these either don't exist, have become paid versions, or have new things that have replaced them. This is how fast things are changing in AI. And this is what I want to talk about because, you know, before it was just the love from human to human. And then we've started adding in technology to it. And eventually, the more and more we mix in AI, we're out of the picture. But let me ask you, everybody knows what this is, right? A chainsaw?
Cuts wood.
Yes. It can also cut off legs. A kid I grew up with in high school decided when he was cutting wood with a chainsaw, saw a rabbit, decided to chase it, tripped, and cut his leg off. True story. So dangerous, huh? So in order to use this, really, you need professional training so you avoid misuse. Agreed? I'm going to assume you're all agreeing. But the same thing is true for AI. And, you know, I'm looking at, I don't like to embarrass anybody, but unfortunately I will. Things like teachers are using still Kahoots as a teaching tool. It's not a teaching tool, people. Great for review, great for, you know, doing quizzes, great for having fun, but to actually teach with it is absurd. Yet I see it all the time, and we see talks about this all the time. Now, it's been what, 2020? I've been doing online for almost 25 years now. In 2020, it's been 4 years now that we have been doing online and working, and still people don't know how to unmute themselves before they start talking. Now, come on, we have Zoom, we have Teams, we have lots of different things to use. Again, still have people who don't know how to go into presentation mode on PowerPoint. I see this all the time. And we still have people, even though I've been doing talks on this for years, that insist on filling up the screen with all this information and expect students to actually learn from it. So now we've handed them AI. And what do you think they're going to do with that? Well, if we watch all the different things that we see, all the webinars, everything else, everybody's talking about, oh, the best AI tool for this, the best AI tool for that. And a lot of people, unfortunately, friends of mine, so I'm sorry, I'm glad they're not here, have stepped forward and are the gurus and the experts and everything else. And they're showing you different apps that can be used in the classroom. But here's what the problem is. These apps, although they start off for free, they catch you, and I'll show you how. I'll come back to this. And we're teachers. Now, machine learning, here's why this happens. Machine learning is actually watching everything we do when we use these apps. They're recording it, and they're learning everything that we do when we use these apps in the classroom. So basically, in the old days, it was called beta testing. I used to be a beta tester for Microsoft. Microsoft would say, we're coming out with a new version of Microsoft, Windows 7. They'd give 6 months. I would have access to it. I'd work with it, find the bugs, find the problems, report it to Microsoft before they released it to the public. And beta testers got paid. I made good money testing stuff for Microsoft. But now it's changed because you're the beta tester. Because if I come out with a new app today, I just throw it on the market and Maria's going to use it. Vicky's going to use it. They're going to complain, oh, this isn't working. So somebody will fix that. And then they'll see everything. So you're doing all their beta testing for free. And you're training their apps. And what's even worse, some of you are even paying for these services to figure out the bugs. So the whole idea of any kind of app, not just for education, you need to understand this as teachers, that the whole idea is it's free today because it's going to be paid tomorrow. Who does this? People that want to get you hooked. And what kind of person is that? It's the drug dealer on the corner. Give you a little taste for free, and then once you start using it, now you're hooked. I was so happy. I received this personal thing from Twee, because I've been using Twee for a while, even before people knew about it. And congratulations, we're tweaking our freemium plan. What they're doing is they're reducing it from 50 to 20. That's a nice tweak. Isn't that nice that they did that for me? And on top of it, they're going to give me 30% off paying for it now to use it. After I've invested time and money, here's their new plan. I'd have to pay $19 a month. Now, I know Poland is in a little bit better financial shape than Greece is, and countries like Moldova, but we're not that much better. $19 for me, that's dinner for two with wine. So that's not cheap. Here's your drug dealers. So this is what they're doing with us now. Now you see this if you follow social media, you see this all the time. Teachers, are you struggling? This guide offers 500 plus prompts to automate lesson planning, grading, more. They're lifesavers. Instant results in saving you time and stress. It's 70% off for a limited time. Ooh, so you jump on it. More money spent to get old information. Because, like I showed you the book, which was a great book, it's already outdated. So, you've invested. What have you invested? Your effort, you've invested your time, and you've invested all your material, and you've invested your students' time. I see them all the time. Blog posts, webinars, everything. Here's the latest technology. And people are coming out saying that they're experts at this. It breaks my heart because people are then investing time into learning old technology. And I'll show you a little bit. Here on YouTube, I do follow her. She does come up with new versions of this all the time. And she came up with the 11 best tools, just to give you a rough idea. Now, there's probably some names here that you recognize. For instance, you see PowerPoint is there, ChatGPT. Are you familiar with a lot of these other ones? Some people have never even heard of them and never even tried them. And they're good, they're current, and they work. They're reasonable price also. Oh. So if you search, you'll see everything. Everybody is on there giving courses. And this is what I suggest you do before you start investing time and money into any kind of AI app. Invest in learning what AI is and what AI can do. That's your first step. Now, here's my list. Okay, you got that all? Good. Oh, you didn't get it? Let me go back. These are just some things that I listed. These are some new stuff that has come out, and nobody's talked about these that I've seen, other than Kahoot, Duolingo. Okay. Now, just to give you an idea and put things in perspective, it's now 2024. Microsoft has released Copilot, which I've just started working with. It's a powerful AI tool that's tied into Microsoft. Google's doing the same thing. And I suggest you start there because there's good support, both with Microsoft or Google, to start learning how AI tools work. Gravescope is another one. But let's take a look. Kensai, Ego, these are from last year, and they're still current apps. And I don't have time to tell you what everything does. That's my point. You need to do the work. Khan Academy came out with Khan Amigo 2022. Now, take a look. Everybody's still talking about Twee and making a big thing about ChatGPT. It's 3 years old already. It's been around for a while. Why are you just learning about it now? It's too late. 2020, PowerPoint. 2019, Socrates was very popular back in 2018, book creator. Now, this is one that people are still talking about. 2017, Quizlet. There's lots of other programs and apps that are out there that do much more than what Quizlet does. If you're happy with what it does for you now, great, stick with it. I mean, I'm using a 3-year-old cell phone. I'm using a 7-year-old laptop. It does the job that I need it to do. So if you're happy with what you have, stick with it. Natural Reader, this is another one that somebody is pushing right now as a great new app. It's from 2016. It's not new. Quiz, again, this came up in a current webinar from one of the top experts. You know, just to put it in perspective, my storybook maker, it's been around from Facebook for 10 years. And now we're suddenly saying, oh, we have these things to make stories. Canva, I know a lot of teachers use Canva and people use Kahoot. Look at it. They're 11 years old and people are still saying, oh, using Kahoots and doing webinars and doing talks. We have face-to-face talks and people still submit talks on how to use Kahoot in the classroom. MOOCs came out in 2012. Ocean House Media. Pinterest, 2010. Who's still using Pinterest? A lot of people.
Well, not for teaching.
Yeah, you're using it to archive.
I use it so that I can, pin my content, but
Sure. Padlet, I heard it mentioned today. It's 16 years old. It's older than Maria.
she'd wish.
And going back to 1998. Now, these are things that people are still doing webinars. And again, if it works for you, fine. If it does everything you need it to do, fine. But if you're looking to get ahead and learn more about AI, my point is stop listening to everybody else and start learning what AI does and what AI is capable of, so you can make an informed decision on what's best for you when you see the new apps come out. Because you know what? I watch these things every day. And because my cell phone is listening to me complain about apps, that's all that comes up in my feed is new apps for education. And you see new ones every day. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. We at BSIG, somebody did a talk at our recent BSIG about a new app they came up with. We had them do a webinar. And when I started asking questions, so does it do this, 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 this? It didn't yet. It's already outdated and it just hit the market. This is how fast things change. In order to do this, I think we as educators need to start learning. And I've given you some sources here. Udemy is now offering free courses to get you started to learn about AI. So there's no excuse anymore. Some Udemy courses are great. Some aren't very good. Most of them you pay for, but they now have, here you see it, 25 courses. And if you don't like Udemy, Coursera is doing the same. So now my idea, as Maria said, the importance of teacher development and CPD to continue on in your career is so important. If you expect to go forward and use AI and use technology well in the future, you need to start educating yourself, and you need to start learning how to use it the right way. So, almost 10 minutes, huh? Basically, that's what I want to say is teachers need to stop being lazy. They need to start learning how to use these things. Remember, this is your career. This is what you're doing in front of your student. If you're happy with the blackboard, great. Not a problem. Many people know that have heard my talks before. I don't know if you realize I was a professional computer programmer. I love technology, but I don't use it in the class. I teach English. So I don't use these distractions in class, but that's another talk. And if I might be so bold, Maria, I would like to take this opportunity to invite all of you to submit proposals. It should be out, I believe this week. It'll be ready on the website. The call for proposals for IATEFL Poland's face-to-face conference, which is September 20th through 22nd in my beautiful city of Gdansk. And we hope we see you there, either present, we hope you can come, or come. It's an amazing lineup I've hooked up. Maria, you know me and my networking. I've called in almost every favor I could. Wait till you see the lineup we have. It's going to be big. So that's basically what I wanted to say. And I'd like to open it up and hear your thoughts and arguments. So I will stop.
Thank you so much. You have said so many amazing things, thought-provoking, interesting, and I do believe, I mean, sometimes I do think that we put the cart before the horse.
Yep.
And it's schools that do it. They buy those fancy computer systems, all sorts of things, and then they say, what did we forget? Didn't educate the teachers how to use them. Hara is asking if you can put the QR code that you shared before. So if you could, reshare.
Here, actually, you don't even need it. I'll make it easier. I'll put it in the chat.
Yep.
If you remember my name, this is my landing page, and this will get you to everything you need. robhoward.me. It's Montenegro. So better than the QR code. Thank you, Philip. Philip, sell my books. And I would like to encourage everybody who goes to, let's see, we have Cyprus, Athens, and Thessaloniki coming up for IP. Go to the DES booth and give Philip a hug for all the support that he's given for Macedonia-Thrace. Oh, yesterday. Okay, so go give him a hug, and Philip, sell him my book.
Thank you so much, Rob, for your presentation. And since we have reached the end of the conference, I don't want to delay anybody. It's 2:45, but if there are any questions, if anybody would like to contribute anything, on my part, I would like to thank the two plenary speakers, Ms. Agapi Dendaiki and Dr. Aristea Laga. I would like to thank all the representatives of associates IATEFL associations, Rob Howard from IATEFL Poland, Georgi Dimitrov from Beta Bulgaria, Dragana MIKIC from ELTA Serbia, Rea Bambali from Tesol Greece, and all of you for being here for 2 days. A great hug goes to Alexandra Popovsky, who found the time to come and join us. And you didn't say hi, Alexandra, but I do respect that you might not want to switch on the camera. Hi.
No, sorry, I'm in the middle of actually making lunch. Can you imagine?
No, it's fine. Lunch is fine. Lunch is, well, we do have to multitask.
Are you making enough for everybody?
Yeah, just come on over. Yeah, plenty.
Okay, guys, it's just an hour from here, I suppose. Are you in another country or are you home?
I'm at home, so you're
okay. Yeah, just people from Thessaloniki, let's get in the car. Alexandra is like, an hour from here. For Antigone, it's closer.
Just come over.
Yeah, we're coming. Sometimes we think that Europeans are so far away, and some of them are just neighbors. So thank you so much for being here. For those of us that are going to IATEFL, let's meet, let's get together to talk. And it was a pleasure to have everybody here. Thank you so much for attending what must have been the last conference of Tesol Macedonia-Thrace Northern Greece. And let's keep hoping for a new association and new accomplishments in a very little time. And yes, we're do. Yes, Philip, do. So thank you very much, and bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you all. Hope to see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.